In the heart of the French countryside, during World War I, the Battle of Verdun raged on. The year was 1916, and the once idyllic landscape had transformed into a nightmarish theater of war. The French and German armies clashed relentlessly, their trenches mere meters apart. The earth trembled with the thunder of artillery, and the air reeked of gunpowder and fear. Verdun, a strategic fortress city, held the key to victory for both sides. Among the soldiers was Lieutenant Henri Durand, a young French officer. His face bore the scars of previous battles, and his eyes held a weariness that belied his age. But he fought on, driven by duty and love for his homeland. One cold morning, as the sun struggled to pierce the thick fog, Lieutenant Durand received orders to lead a desperate charge. The Germans had broken through the French lines, threatening to overrun the last bastion of resistance. Durand's men were exhausted, hungry, and demoralized, but they followed him without question. As they climbed out of their muddy trenches, bullets whizzed past and shells exploded around them. The ground shook, swallowing soldiers whole. Durand pressed forward, shouting encouragement, his heart pounding in his chest. He thought of his family back home, their faces, their laughter, and pushed through the terror. The battle raged for hours. Bodies piled up, and the once green fields turned crimson. Durand lost count of how many comrades fell beside him. But he fought on, fueled by a stubborn determination. He knew that if Verdun fell, France would crumble. Finally, they reached the German lines. Bayonets clashed, and Durand locked eyes with a young German soldier, a mirror image of himself. They fought fiercely, neither willing to yield. But as the sun dipped below the horizon, fatigue overcame them both. Durand's blade found its mark, and the German fell. The lieutenant collapsed, gasping for breath. His uniform was tattered, and blood soaked his hands. But he had held the line. Verdun remained French for now. In the aftermath, Durand wandered the battlefield, haunted by the faces of the fallen. He wondered if their sacrifice had been worth it. The war dragged on, claiming more lives, and the horrors of Verdun etched themselves into his soul. Years later, when peace returned, Durand stood amid the silent ruins of Verdun. Wildflowers bloomed where once artillery shells had torn the earth. He traced his fingers over the names carved into the memorial, a tribute to the fallen, and he wept for the lost youth, the shattered dreams, and the courage that had held the line.